The new US administration has wasted no time in signaling its commitment to Indo-Pacific security. Within the first 2 weeks of taking office, President Trump's second administration has reinforced alliances through high-level diplomatic meetings, military drills, and economic measures aimed squarely at countering China's growing influence in the region. One of the most notable early moves was a meeting of the Quad, comprising the US, Australia, Japan, and India, underscoring the administration's strategy to strengthen regional partnerships. The US has also reaffirmed its support for the Philippines, a nation increasingly at odds with China over territorial disputes in the South China Sea, and conducted multiple air and naval drills to project its military presence. China's assertiveness in the Indo-Pacific has escalated in recent years, with Beijing aggressively enforcing its claims over nearly the entire South China Sea. This expansion has led to repeated incursions into the exclusive economic zones of neighboring nations, particularly the Philippines and Vietnam. Chinese maritime forces have been involved in ramming, boarding, and using water cannon against vessels from these smaller nations in an effort to intimidate them. Against this backdrop, Washington has sent a strong message and unmistakable signal. The US is committed to protecting its allies and upholding international maritime laws. Beijing will undoubtedly be watching how the US responds to further provocations, as these early actions set the tone for future engagement. One of the most significant and early statements came from Secretary of State Marco Rubio during his first-day meeting with the Quad. The strategic alliance has long been viewed as a counterbalance to China's influence in the Indo-Pacific. Following the meeting, the group released a statement affirming their commitment to strengthening regional maritime, economic, and technological security in the face of increasing threats, as well as promoting reliable and resilient supply chains. The timing of this meeting was no coincidence. By placing it at the forefront of its foreign policy agenda, the Trump administration has made it clear that countering China's regional ambitions remains a top priority. The Philippines has become a focal point of China's territorial expansion, making US-Philippine relations more crucial than ever. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth reiterated Washington's ironclad commitment to the 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty, assuring Manila that the US will stand by its ally. During a call with his Philippine counterpart, Hegseth emphasized the need to re-establish deterrence in the South China Sea, including by working with allies and partners. More significantly, the US announced plans to enhance the capabilities of the Philippine Armed Forces, further solidifying its presence in the region. One of the most contentious developments has been the US deployment of its mid-range Typhoon missile system in the Philippines, an act that has drawn sharp condemnation from Beijing. This move adds another layer of deterrence against potential Chinese aggression and signals the administration's commitment to military readiness. The US has reinforced its words with action. In recent days, the US military has conducted joint air and naval exercises with the Philippines and other regional allies. US Strategic Command released footage of Philippine Air Force jets flying alongside American B-1B Lancers, emphasizing their commitment to regional security. Additionally, Australia and Japan joined the US and Philippines in maritime patrols within the Philippines EEZ, territory that China has repeatedly infringed upon. These exercises not only serve as a deterrent, but also demonstrate the administration's willingness to escalate its presence in the region. With China maintaining a persistent presence within the Philippines EEZ, coming as close as 34 miles to its coastline, the question now is how the US will respond to further incursions. For over 30 days, Chinese vessels have remained in disputed waters despite warnings from Manila. As other global crises, including the war in Ukraine and the Israel-Gaza conflict, show signs of de-escalation, the South China Sea is quickly emerging as one of the most significant geopolitical flashpoints of the coming years. The Trump administration's early actions suggest a more confrontational stance with Beijing, setting the stage for heightened tensions in the region. The next moves by Washington and Beijing will be crucial in determining whether this escalating situation will lead to further conflict or a new balance of power in the Indo-Pacific.